Hi, this is 365-801, and this is either my buddy read or my 30 and 30 part 3. I might just combine the two, so this is that video. It'll say what it is in the description. So yeah, so for 1330 I need to read 30 manga volumes. Challengers is what I'm going to be doing over the next few days anyway. I am thinking, because I have a bit of light and I don't know how long it's going to last, I might film a video because light is at a premium at the moment. It's going to get worse for the next month. Yeah, I wanted to film this video and I'm not sure if I can do it by the time the sun disappears behind the trees and the buildings, and then I'm cast in darkness again for the rest of the day. So that's my plan. I'm also going to make some, hopefully, fingers crossed, karaage chicken, because I have some chicken thighs and I really want to make karaage chicken. I'm like itching for it. And I have a few other things I need to do, but I'm going to see if I can do that video first. So I just finished filming the first half of this video, which I don't know when it'll go up, if it goes up before or after this video that I'm filming just now. Filming a video within a video, it's like Inception. Anyway, so I need to tidy all this up. It's going to take me forever. But what I want to do is get my kitchen tidied, because I don't need to film anything like properly with the light. It's fine if I put the lights on and stuff, because it's just a vlog. It's just you guys. It's just you guys. So I'm thinking I might actually just leave this mess here. Oh, I know. Go and tidy my kitchen and get my karaage kind of sorted. It needs to sit and marinate, and it's better to actually do it, like if you're really going to do it and then leave it overnight, but you can just leave it for 15 minutes, that's usually enough. But I would like to leave it for as long as possible, then have a wee go at cooking it. I just might make all karaage all the time. Oh my goodness, this is so much. Can you tell that I'm procrastinating? That was good fun. It was good fun, but yeah. So yeah, some tidying in the kitchen and some cooking, and then we'll get this all tidied up. So this just arrived in the mail. Oh, so we'll see if I can actually open it. I know what it is because I ordered it yesterday really quickly. It has arrived. I thought it was going to be tomorrow, but there we go. Ja-ja! So happy! Volume 5 of my Love Mix-Up. I will probably end up reading this today, just because I cannot wait. It's been one of my favourite series this year. It was always £7 something, and then all of a sudden it went down to £5.99. And so I'm like, yes, please, thank you very much, I will have that. So it has arrived, and I will probably read it today. So I'm really proud of myself. I managed to make karaage chicken. I've got two different kinds depending on how much of the starch I used, and inside I just had a piece. Oh, it's so juicy and moist, and it's just, oh, I'm so excited about eating this. Usually in Japan you get it with lemon wedges and tartar sauce, which might seem a bit odd. But it's absolutely amazing. People are like, what, chicken and tartar sauce? But yeah, no, it's great. It's great. So this is how I'm serving it, with a bit of lettuce, because I don't have any diced cabbage. But while I had the hot oil, I thought I would just make some chips as well, which is very British. So I'm having chips and chicken, and I've got like a salt and pepper roll, so I could make a wee chip butty if I'm feeling very decadent. And I'm feeling obviously very decadent, because this is like, oh my goodness, like the most amazing, delicious dinner. I'm so excited about food. Anyway, I only used half of my chicken, so I've got another karaage chicken dinner to make as well, which I'm so looking forward to. This has been amazing. The piece of chicken that I ate was so moist inside, and it did taste of the soy sauce and the ginger and the garlic. It was amazing. So yeah, kind of pat myself on the back, feeling really proud of myself. So I'm gonna have a delicious dinner. And although I said I was gonna start with challengers, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to start with My Love Mix-Up Volume 5. Can't help it. Can't help it. So I have just finished reading My Love Mix-Up Volume 5. I brought Volume 4 up just to have a wee flick through, so that it was up to date with the story and I knew where I was. I just love this. I love this series so much. They're so fantastic. I mean, I love the artwork on the cover. It's just gorgeous. Gorgeous. Look at these. Look at these two. This volume was at the point, it's like I think of these characters and it makes me think the kids are all right. They're more emotionally mature than I am. And this first story about Sota having to go to cram school and then meeting Okano and then him finding out that he was dating Ida and then giving him like the cold shoulder and everything that they did, like their reactions, and how it all panned out was just perfect because it, you know, showed that he was prejudiced. He, you know, it was, and the fact that they were all just like, that's just prejudice. I love that. It's just so much more mature and accepting, and I liked that there was that kind of resolution to it. The fact that he could have just walked away from him and not had the ramen, and instead Ida's like, come and have ramen, you're paying. Kind of like you promised him. But without, like, a little bit of pressure without actually saying anything. But then afterwards admitting that he was angry about it. Oh. They all love him, all three of them. The fact that Hashimoto had this big gorilla behind her. And he's like, don't call them, you're not a helicopter parent. I love the relationship between the two of them, Hashimoto and him. They just have a great friendship. It's brilliant. And the whole Akkun thing as well with the Valentine's Day. They're just great. It's like little episodic stories and they're just making their way through and they're developing in their relationship. But you can see it starts off, you know, when he's describing being in a relationship, he says, we sometimes eat lunch together. And it's like, you know, radiating purity. That's what this is. This whole story radiates purity and just innocence and the blossoming of an innocent first love. I just love it. It's so perfect. It's such a perfect one. And of course, I just cackled and laughed all the way through as well. It's just got everything. It's got all the feels. All the feels. So this one was kind of like a Christmassy time. And this one is winter. It's Valentine's and coming into spring. So we're getting to that point where it's March into April. So they're going to have their break soon. And I like that I can follow that in their holiday, their like school year. So the holidays for the spring will be coming up for them. So I kind of know what's going to happen, but I don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, volume 5 was published in October. It's amazing. I'm so happy that October 2022. It is November, so that it didn't take them long, Amazon, to put this down in price. So I managed to get this for $5.99, which is a really good deal. I think I managed to get this for like £5 something or £6 something. So I'm very happy I was able to get this for a really good deal. This will go in my little pile. And so I guess that means I've got my challengers to read, but also I have to read some more things for 1330 as well. Anyway, this was great. Highly, highly recommend. Highly, highly recommend this series. It's perfect. It's got everything. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Except I'm a little bit cold. That's why I'm I'm wrapped up in a blanket. But I'm going to go make something to eat. So I'm going to move on and actually try and get this challengers done. So yeah, I want to see if I can get this done and get back into some reading. And I need to alternate between the two. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'll let you know how I get on. So good morning. I have got the kettle on, so I'm going to make myself a cup of tea, I think. I could have coffee, but no, I feel like tea. I'm going to have tea. Anyway, I did read this last night as I was going to bed. It was really easy and quick to read compared to Challengers. It's actually really nice if you have a look underneath. They've got, like, they made an effort. They made an effort. Guys, they made an effort. And look at this lovely image. So yeah, this was, just to make sure, because I always like to check, this was published in August 2008, but in 2007. And there is the translator, Leona Wong. This was really, I mean, it's Toko Kawaii, so it covers Toko Kawaii's style of art, so you know what to expect. I was wondering where the whole just around the corner was going to come in, but it did come in at some point at the very, very end. And it's about two people who meet under strange circumstances and end up spending time together, and then end up spending the night together. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then it wasn't until, like, I don't know, quite a bit into the story. Yeah, here. So I've already read all of this. They're already in a sort of sex friends, a casual relationship at this point. And they find out that they're a teacher and student age. They didn't realise. Well, one of them definitely knew he was a student and definitely lied about his age. And then the teacher was like, what the fuck? Because of course he was his teacher, come in as a supply teacher. To be like, oh no, because he'd lied about his age. So it's actually a teacher-student relationship story, which I was really surprised at, because at this point, when you're reading the blurb at the back, at no point does it mention any of that. So maybe I've just spoiled it for everyone. Oh, fuck. Sorry. But I mean, the majority of it is a teacher-student relationship, so I would, if you don't like it, and you went in and you were like, what? You'd be really pissed off, because I was like, oh, is it going to be tragic piano, you know, and it is a little bit of that, but it's mostly the teacher-student thing and the whole, you know, can they be together, should they be together kind of thing. So I feel like that's like a warning for people who don't like teacher-student relationship stories. Like with, I'm trying to think of the one I got this year, Hey Sensei. It's like there in the title, it's on the cover, you know one of them's a teacher and one of them's a student. You know that's what you're going into. But if you don't like teacher-student relationships and you started reading this, at that point in the story, you would be really pissed. I was kind of like, what? It's a teacher-student? I mean, I wasn't expecting it. It kind of came out of nowhere. But yeah, it's Toko Kawaii, so the artwork has this lovely, light, thin, feathery feel to it, which I really do appreciate. So yeah, Just Around the Corner is 100% a direction, and I feel like that has got me that particular prompt for the buzzword readathon, because this is 100% a direction to give someone. Oh, you need to go there? It's just around the corner. So yeah, I do need to read my other like set as well, but I do need to continue with Challengers. But I'm gonna have my cinnamon roll and tea first. And today it has been raining, but it has started to clear up a bit, but we don't have too much, maybe about 3 hours of sunlight left. So I really wanted to go out because the schools are back. And my video's about to go up, so I will just wait until it goes up and then do all the gumph with the Instagram and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll go for a wee walk and look for some delicious things to eat and maybe buy a few gifts and stuff. Anyway, we'll go for a potter. I need to get out of the house. I need to do something. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So I've got my video up, but the mailman came today and delivered something, and I think I know what this is. I thought I would just show you. I think I got this for a really good price. I think it was like £4 or £5, something like that. So this is Fence Disarmed, and this is part of CS Picat's Fence, and I'm really happy because I got striking distance already, but I wanted to get this one as well. And so now I have them both. I can sit and have a wee read of them. So these will be added to my, it's quite nice. These will be added to my TBR for pros for 2023, I think. There'll be something that I choose to read. So if you're interested in a buddy read for some fence, disarmed, or striking distance, I need to get volume 5 now of the graphic novel, because that has been released in the UK now. It was released ages ago in the US, but not. And yeah, I still have all of this behind me. Just ignore it. Just don't look. But yeah, so I've got this. I've got some things to do, and then I'm gonna head off. So I'm literally just in the door. I opened the door, and before I even came in myself, a random cat has just decided to come into my house and wander around. So I'm gonna maybe take my stuff, my shopping, my goodies out. I'll show you guys what I got. Some nice stuff. I've got some ham, so I'll give him some ham. Him, her, I think it's a him, I'm not sure. Anyway, so yeah, I've got some stuff. I'll show you in a second. I better go check where that cat's gone. Ah, hiya, hello, 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 hello. You want a wee pet? You want a wee pet? Oh, so gorgeous. Should we get you some ham? Should we get you some ham? I think so. Let's get you some ham. Well, I went to a few places, including some charity shops, and I got some sort of like cool Christmas decorations. It's apple. And I thought, oh, it just looks so cool. It's much more like a richer, deeper purple colour in person. But it looks alright. So they had these 3 here, and they're quite big ones. Oh, that's gone. And they had these little mini ones as well, which aren't that many, and they could go on the tree. These were £1 and these were £2, so I thought I'd get all 3 of the purple ones. And then these rich red ones as well, which would be quite nice for decoration. And I can't wait to have something in it. A nice Christmassy mug. Very happy. This was only £1, so that's good. So yeah, another Christmas mug, because the Christmas mug I've got is a Santa Claus. But I kind of want to have one that's not quite so difficult to clean. And I saw this. It's like a snooty thing. It's like one of these scarves, but it's connected all the way. But I just really like the colour of it. It's really nice. And it still has its tag on from Tesco. So I got it for a really good deal. I think it was £3.50. But it's supposed to be £6. So that's not bad. And I'm going to use, this is what my plan is anyway. If I'm going to get gifts for anyone, and I'm not going to get big gifts this year because it's, you know, cost of living and all that. I'm a poor person. I have no money. But instead of buying wrapping paper, which is really bad for the environment, I thought I would buy scarves or cloth things from charity shops and wrap the gifts in that, rather than getting things that are just going to get chucked away and is wasteful and no one can get any benefit out of it. But this, I can wrap something in it and then use like Christmas pins and stuff like that to get it all nice. And then whoever I give this to can then use this as a gift itself, or can then gift it on forward, or put it into a charity shop as well. So that way you're not adding to all of the stuff that goes to landfill, because Christmas paper can't actually be recycled. It's got a plastic coating on it, which means it's not just standard paper, so you're technically not supposed to put it in the recycle bin, just in case you didn't know. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. Lovely, such a lovely colour. So yeah, that can go with them. Well, it kind of looks nice, autumnal. So I got quite a few of these. How many did I get? They are great. There was more of them, but they're £1 each, and I thought, oh, I'm not too sure. But yeah. And I got this as well. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. So this I might be giving away as a gift. This is only 50p. It opens up. It's one of those ones. Hold on. One-handed. Can I do it? Yes. So it opens up and you can put things inside. And then give that as a gift, and I think that's pretty cute. And I know who I'm giving it to. And then I went to that fancier shop and I got some things in here which are going to be gifts as well. So yeah, not terribly many fancy things, but yeah, I'm really happy with my little haul, and it didn't cost too much. And I think this is going to be nice for decorations. I don't want to go all out with my decorations this year. I don't know. We'll see what I decide to do, because once I get the box out, I might just be like in a festive mood. that'll be a vlog for sure. So look forward to that. But yeah, I'm very happy. I'll give my mug a good clean and maybe have some tea or coffee in it. So I've put a pizza in the oven. I put a few extra things on it, but I just thought I'd show you my fancy drink. I just really wanted something fizzy, so I got some tonic water. And I think there was some gin left in there, so when I went into the cupboard, I was like, oh, there is just a little bit. And I haven't had alcohol in over a year, I think. Maybe. Oh no, I think I might have had like maybe, I don't know when I last had anything alcoholic. Anyway, I made a nice drink. It's got frozen grapes. Look how fancy they look. Frozen grapes, lemon, cucumber, and some gin liqueur and tonic. And I'm going to enjoy this while I get my breath back, because I didn't realise I'd been out for almost 3 hours just walking and going to the shops. So yeah, I've had a good day anyway. And I'm going to watch, I think, Books and Lala and read some more books and have some pizza. Nice evening. So I've got a bowl of noodles with some pork. I'm in the middle of editing, and I am halfway through Nabari no O Volume 1 by Yuki Kamitani, who is the mangaka who did Our Dreams at Dusk, which I have not got a copy of yet, and I would like to at some point. I have watched the anime. My friend badgered me and was like, trust me, you'll love it. And I was like, will I though? Will I? And I remember being very confused and kind of thinking, oh, it's just standard, you know, like shinobi ninja type story. And then there's a certain point in it when you're like, oh, this is not. Oh, this is this is gonna break my heart, isn't it? And I remember watching the anime and it breaking my heart, and I thinking that I'd like to read the manga and see if it was the same, because I had heard that it wasn't quite the same. So I'm only halfway through the first volume. It's very ninja, kind of standard shonen type story at this point, which is exactly how it starts. It's how most Japanese things start, is in the pretty straightforward standard, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, my heart, my soul, it breaks, it aches, which is exactly what they do. They take it to the extreme. In Scottish, you've taken that too far. So yeah, I know we haven't met the other character yet. We have met Miharu first, and then we will meet, is it Yuki? I'm trying to remember the other character's name, because it's been a while since I watched the anime. But yeah, so I know that's to come. I just still remember the pain I felt. So yeah, I'm going to continue reading this and edit my Challengers vlog. I have decided to split it up because I've got too much. I talk too much, so I'm going to do my usual buddy read as a single vlog, and then the 1330 will be the rest. So yeah, I'm going to try and finish this today and get my vlog all edited as well. So I have finished Nabari no O, volume 1, Yuki Kamatani. I got this second hand, and when I was checking it out at the back, it says it was published in May 2009. Such a long time ago. Now that I've read it, the first volume, I'm like, yeah, I kind of remember this. So Yoite is the boy with the hat. Man, the two of them, oh my god, they break my heart. So I wouldn't mind getting the rest of the series. I think it might be quite tricky. I don't know. I haven't even looked into what the rest of the series, like length and also cost for individual volumes. But as you know, when something is of a certain age, it becomes a little bit more tricky, especially if it's not been something that was massively popular. And although the anime was really quite popular, I'm not entirely sure if Yen Press, who are generally quite expensive anyway, produced that many volumes, or I would say that many copies of each of the volumes. But yeah, it does make me want to read the rest of this. So, or rewatch the anime. I just remember it breaking my heart, so yeah, I'm just exporting the video on Challengers, which means that I have read 4 volumes for Challengers, Nabari no O, just around the corner, and My Love Mix-Up Volume 5. So, 7 volumes, which means I need to read 3 more volumes before the end of November, and this is kind of like my stack of volumes I was thinking about. So I could reread volume 1 of Star Collector and read volume 2, and I haven't read volume 2 before, and I'd probably enjoy that. And then read Cells at Work volume 1, which is a volume I picked up at a charity shop for like £1. Now, I've had it for ages and I've never actually read it, and I know it's probably a good one and a popular one. So I'd like to read it at some point, but I also have my buzzword reading challenge to do, and I need to read something with all in the title, and I do have Kiss All the Boys. I really just want to read No Touching at All instead in digital format. But everything I've read so far, I've read in physical, and the whole point is to read my physical. And although I have it in physical, I just don't have it here. And my other choice was I've seen it all, but I don't have volume 3 with me because it's in my other collection. Annoying. It's annoying. So this is kind of like the only choice in terms of getting that done. So I was planning on doing this. I think it's a bit of a missed opportunity, because I do think if I read this and Katie's got it, then it's a shame because we haven't been able to do a buddy read. And I think it's the kind of thing, like Challengers, that I might need a buddy to read it with me just to get me through it. So here is volume 1, Kiss All the Boys, by Shioko Kano. And I've mentioned Shioko Kano before, is one that is very much hit and miss and especially her older works, well, even her more modern stuff, is very much hit and miss. And more misses than hits. And I'm not sure if this sounds good. In fact, I think this might just end up being like challengers. I might end up hating this as well. And I don't really want to read stuff that I hate. But look at this. They kiss and tell. Meet Tetsuo, age 32, occupation, porn comic writer. Porn comic writer, so like a hentai or ecchi mangaka. A marital status, single, but he has a kid due to the folly of youth. Well, I'm like, how young was he? If he's 32, how old is his kid? Sexual potency, currently none. Given such circumstances, it seems only natural that all he wants is a kiss with enough potency to get him back to his A game. So, he's impotent. Unexpectedly, life deals a strange hand when his estranged and gay son, Haruka, shows up. Well, how old is his son, Haruka? He's 32. Tetsuo is 32. How old is his son? And how does his son know he's gay? What is he, like 12? 14? 16? Then again, maybe someone is trying to tell him that if a kiss from the opposite sex can't cure him of his impotency, perhaps a kiss pumped with raging testosterone can take him down. Yaoi has never been funnier or more erotic. That's just asking for it to be awful. That's just asking for trouble. Because All the Boys is the hilarious and sexy 3-volume series that takes comedy and raging hormones to unbelievable extremes. This just screams bad idea to me. It just looks really bad. Really bad. I think I'm gonna hate it. So when was this published? So originally 1997. Yay! Deki no ii kisu, warui kisu. Ah, 2008. So in English, 2008. But originally 1997. Once again, coming out here with some old titles. Oh, gee, I just don't know if I can do this to myself. I need some time off. I want to read something I want to read. I don't want to read this. Damn it, what do I do? I'll check back in with you when I've actually read something. But this is how I'm feeling just now. Like, I don't want to. But I don't want to not. I've only got 3 volumes to read. Maybe I'll read something else. Maybe this should be a December time. I'm going to be doing it in December. So my video is still exporting. It's been exporting for ages. And it's taking forever. It is like over an hour long, so it's probably going to be. I've decided I'm going to start. I just decided to give it a go, give it a wee start, and I've read this much so far, and I think I might be safe. I think I might be relatively safe because it is supposed to be a sex comedy, so there's like a mindset you can have when you read things. If it's so stupid and so silly, you can disregard a lot of the nonsense and a lot of the distasteful elements like language and stuff like that. Whereas so far this doesn't have any negative language. It follows, as it said, like a hentai, ecchi mangaka and his son. So he's 32, his son is 15, and this is the bit I was a bit like, So he's supposed to be having some sort of relationship with this lady called Fumi, who is wearing a sailor suit. And then this kid walks in going, "Daddy, I came home as quickly as I could, Daddy. I wanted to see you so much." And of course she's like, "What?" So she says that he's gay with a Lolita complex, which I wouldn't be surprised if he asked her to wear like a high school girl sailor costume, unless she is herself a high school girl, which I don't think that was the case. I think it was supposed to be that she wasn't. So yeah, not the best. I was like, okay. But yeah, so he's there having to look after his son because the mum's gone to Paris, and the son was like, "I ain't going to Paris, I'm 15, I need to stay at school." He works for a company, a publishing company, and his best friend from high school Michi also works for that company. He's like his liaison, which sounds very similar to Pornographer. Do you remember that one? So it's kind of similar in that vein. I think this is just a theory, and I think I'm gonna just put it out there. I think there might be something going on between Michi and his dad, Tetsuo. Tetsuo. I think Michi might have feelings for Tetsuo. I think the uncle and nephew might also both be gay, and I think that's how it's gonna go. I thought that instantly as soon as I was like, oh, I think that's how it's gonna go. Anyway, so it turns out his son is gay. He finds out his son is gay and is shocked. And of course, Uncle Michi is like, just let him be who he needs to be supportive, you know? If he has a person that he likes, just let him like that person, you know? Be accepting. Anyway, on the way home from the pub after talking to Uncle Michi, he comes across porn cinema, which certainly was a thing in mid-90s Japan, and he meets a young guy who is like not sure about going in, so he goes in with him. Of course, because he's impotent, he can't really get hard from what Sivers on the screen, but the young man next to him gets really hard, and he's like, I don't know what to do, because he seems, you know, pretty inexperienced and he doesn't know what's going on. So Tetsuo is just like, just unzip yourself. Here, I'll help. And he just grabs him, you know, helps the guy out, gives him a wee hand. And then he gets like shocked about what on earth he's just done. And it turns out that his neighbor is the man. So that's going to happen. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. I still think Uncle Michi's going to come in at some point, because this is a 3-volume series. You know there's got to be some of that. So yeah, actually not too bad so far. I'll let you know when I get to the end of the volume. Hopefully this will get done. I don't want to stay up to midnight, but my computer's just going to die otherwise. And then it won't actually properly export. The perils of a long video and an old computer means I just have to stay up and read manga, even though I need to go to bed. Anyway, I'll let you know what I think after volume 1. So I'm still here. It's still not quite finished. It probably takes, I don't know, another 20 minutes maybe? Oh my god. But I have now finished volume 1 of Kiss All the Boys by Shioko Kano. First and foremost, at the end of the first chapter, she says, hey, guess who designed the front cover? And then she gave the name, and I was like, is that someone I should know? Yes. Yes, it is someone I should know. Kazuna Uchida is apparently the person who designed the cover for her, and is also the mangaka of I Shall Never Return, which is quite a famous and popular BL from a certain time period. And they're sisters, and in my mind, I'm like, is this new to me? Or did I already know that news? Is that something? And I feel like I already knew it, but also it's been such a long time. I was like, really? But actually I can kind of see it. So that was kind of interesting. This, I'm afraid to say I'm fully invested. Really invested in this smoking pile of shit, and I'm loving it. I'm hating it and I'm loving it at the same time. There is one thing about this that they made a joke. The character, the young man, is called Momoyama, and he seems to have developed quite an attachment to Tetsuo since his basically assault. He assaulted him. Tetsuo assaulted Momoyama in this cinema, but he had such a great orgasm that he's like developed some feelings, and has very quickly come to terms with that. Seems perfectly, relaxed about that. Whereas Tets is very much like, oh hell no. So he calls him Homoyama instead of Momoyama, and that's a kind of a running joke, which isn't very funny. But I laughed because, like, the first time I was like very offended on behalf of Momoyama. And then by the third time I was laughing because I'm like, Jesus, she really thinks this is funny. So I was kind of laughing at the mangaka, thinking it was funny. Anyway, it kind of has been addressed. That anyway, this development is ridiculous. So Momiyama comes over and he ends up giving him a hand job. And he actually gets hard and of course his son walks in and is like, what? So his son is, it turns out, in love with a boy who was at his school called Tamaki, who moved schools, and that's why he wanted to move with his dad, so that he could still be friends with Tamaki and see him at school. So he went to the same middle school. So he's moved middle schools just to be with his crush, basically. And Tetsuo is just an unfortunate offshoot. And Tetsuo is a bit of an asshole. He's a real meanie, and he's not very loving towards his son, but then he meets Tamaki, and he ends up developing a bit of a nice, friendly relationship with him when they find out some stuff about him, and that he's really scared. Tamaki's afraid of sex, and so he kind of helps him out. This is where she said it was Kazuna Uchida. Because it turns out Tamaki's sister is a porn actress, and it got out at the school, and that's why they ended up having to move. But Haruka, his son, didn't know any of this. Anyway, so here's the dynamic, because I need to explain this. I need to explain this, what's going on in this absolutely insane manga. So Tetsuo goes to give the manuscript to, this is it. So he goes to give the manuscript to Michiru. Then he bumps into Momoyama, who wants to make hot pot to say thanks for having him over at breakfast time. And Tets, instead of saying no, F off, he's like, oh, okay, because he'll make him dinner. He's invited him over. Then Haruka invites Tamaki over. Tetsuo invites Tamaki over so that he can make up with Haruka because he's had a falling out with him. So the four of them end up having hot pot. And when they have hot pot, Tetsuo ends up drinking a lot, and the two boys kind of pass out asleep after eating too much. But Tetsuo's drank too much, and so Momoyama takes him to bed. Now at this point I'm gonna have to stop showing you what happens. It's pretty graphic. Anyway, while Tets is kind of half asleep, he's saying lots of women's names, and Momoyama goes to kind of get him ready for bed, and Tets gives him a kiss, and it's a very deep kiss, tongue and all that. And he gets a bit hot and heavy, and he flips Momoyama onto his back, even though he keeps calling him lots of different women's names. And just at that point, he gets all very turned on. He unzips him, takes out his dick, and is like, oh, you're hard, great. So starts giving Momoyama a blowjob. Oh my god. Like, no shame, this man who's supposed to be impotent and also a little bit homophobic, has voluntarily given a random stranger a hand job. Had that random stranger give him a hand job. And I think at this point, you know, if you share mutual orgasms on more than one occasion, I don't think you can say you're strangers anymore. These guys obviously know each other. So he's in his bed, he's giving him a blowjob. And then he goes on about fingering him, then starts fingering him, flips him over, fingers him some more, and then decides that he's gonna lick him and starts eating him out, which of course makes Momoyama orgasm just at the point when Tamaki, who is afraid of sex, walks in to see him face deep in his ass and Momoyama coming on the bed. The most ridiculous thing I think I have ever seen. It was hilarious. I just laughed so much because I'm like, who could have thought of this? Who made this up? And then I was like, ah, Shiyoko Kano. So, it made me laugh so much. Oh, and by the way, totally 100% right about Michi. Uncle Michi definitely has the hots for him. Has the hots for him. Has the hots for him. Yeah, best friends. Best friends. Those 3 taboo words. Ooh. Yep. Knew it. Called it. Nailed it. So that's how it ended. So obviously I have to read volume 2. Even though I was like, oh, I'm going to hate this. This is in no way anywhere near as bad as Challengers. Just because its tone is right. And look at how much empty space there is, and it's easy. It's well panelled. The flow is right. The dialogue's not over the top. It's nowhere near as offensive towards gay people in any way compared to Challengers. So yeah, I'm tired, but I might read a wee bit of volume 2. Here it is, along with my Oreo cookies. Let's see, double stuffed. I had to, because they're dairy free, just in case you didn't know. But yeah, Kiss All the Boys volume 2. This will be his son, and her drawings. But I think it's very silly. It's very stupid. I have to say, this book, it now has a bit of a broken spine, but not a single one of these has actually been read. This is the first time no one has broken the spine on these after being printed back in, what's 2008? 2009? 2008. So this volume is 1998. Wow, they're so old, these ones. Anyway, I'm going to give volume 2 a wee go, and hopefully talk to you about it tomorrow morning. Good morning. I've now had my coffee, and I have completed volume 2 and volume 3, and my my video is still exporting. It didn't work again. This is like, I don't know, the 7th time I've tried to export this video. Sometimes that just happens. So it's just one of those times. And unfortunately I have like 2 other videos that I need to get done and export as well. Anyway, it's all there. I want rid of it off my computer. So yes, I have completed. I completed this actually last night because I was still awake, and I was like, just read it. And even though it felt like my mind was not quite there, like everything's a fever dream, this is like a fever dream. No no lie, this is number 1, probably the absolute wildest yaoi manga I have ever read. I don't really want to call it BL, because BL is something that came about. I think there are certain times when you have to use the yaoi name because as a label, because it's something that was produced in the mid-90s. You know, we didn't talk about boys' love in the mid-90s in the way that we do now, to be all encompassing. But this is yaoi through and through, because it is so 90s, and also it is wild. It is so wild. Okay, so first and foremost, I have to say, Shiyoko Kano can do good storytelling, interesting characters. She knows how to panel. She knows how to get flow with the panels. She knows how to make it easy for you to read something and read it fairly quickly. Because I went through these really quick. I mean, compared to Challengers, oh my god, Challengers took me days. This took me like a couple of hours. That's the difference if something is readable versus a slog. And this was 100% readable. Am I happy that I read it? Oh my god, the entertainment value was super high. I was entertained all the way through. I could not stop turning the pages. Was that a good thing? No. No, not necessarily. It was like watching a car crash, and I just could not look away. So yeah, this, oh my god. Oh my god. So this first volume, when I read it and I gave you my little synopsis afterwards and I was laughing and thinking, this is crazy. This is crazy and funny and kind of like cliffhangery and shocking in the way that a sitcom is shocking and surprising and sometimes funny. You know, like sometimes there would be moments in Friends and you go, oh, but it would be funny because it's a sitcom. These two, no. They're shocking and they're crazy and they've got all the crazy plots and all of the cliffhangers and all of the amazing shocking moments that make you keep on watching. But they are not comedic in any way. The shift in tone between this first volume to these two is from a situational comedy, like Friends or something like that, to a soap opera. And I'm talking like EastEnders, Hollyoaks, Brookside, you know, all of them. If you know what I mean. I don't know, an American version of a, like, Dynasty? I don't know, something like that. You know, when it's like, oh my god, his father? And yes, that's in there. So when I first came across these and I saw Kiss All the Boys and I read the synopsis, I thought, oh no, it's a father and his gay son reconnecting, estranged and now having to live together. That could go certain ways, especially because they have the added element of a supposedly straight man dealing with the sexuality of his son, whilst the straight man has dubious career in the fact that he makes pornographic manga, and also is impotent and has been for a couple of years due to whatever, we're not really sure. So this is like open to like, oh, this could go so many ways. And you know what? This manga went every single way with that. Absolutely every single way. Oh my god. When I tell you the shocks and shocks and shocks in this. And when it's called Kiss All the Boys, it's called that because he literally does just kiss everyone. The one thing I was scared about was incest. And there being something between the son and the dad. That does not happen. So if you are very much averse to incest, which I'm not particularly happy fan with, in terms of the main story, there is no incest. However, at the end of volume 3, there is an extra story with the art style looks nothing like look at the art style for this and then look at this art style. It's completely different. It looks like her sister's art style, much more so than the Shioko Kano that we know from the majority of her work. And this one did involve incest between mother and son, and the sort of repercussions of that. So yeah, I was correct in my summation that there might be incest in these. There was, it just wasn't in the main story. The main story spans almost the 3 volumes, just this little one at the end is an extra, even older story. Oh my god, the wildest ride you've ever been on is insane. I don't even know if I can tell you all of the twists and the turns, but the second volume, the first chapter happens, and of course Tetsu is having to deal with the shock of finding out that his best friend has been in love with him all this time. And we get a bit of their backstory and how that came about. We also get a bit of Uncle Mitchie's backstory with his ex-wife, who it turns out, I mean, it's just revelation after revelation. Should I do this? Should I do a rundown? I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I kind of feel like you deserve to know that. No, I can't. It's just too insane. The story is too insane, and I don't think I can spoil volume 2 and 3. But just know, in all the ways that this story could possibly go, it goes. And not all of them are great, and some of them made me very uncomfortable. In fact, often this made me very uncomfortable, and a lot of the characters choose to do and say things that hurt both themselves and other people, and other people that they love and care about. This is sort of like self-flagellation. It is really. There are moments when it was like, oh my god, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't say it, don't say it. And they would go there, and I was just like, no, this is wrong on so many levels. It was like that, you know, you're not my mother, oh yes I am. That moment, it was like, oh, it was like that, but every 2 chapters there was that moment, and it was, no, don't, no, oh my god, like that. So I can't say I wasn't entertained. But this is the most shocking, the most roller coastery series of a yaoi I have ever read. I can't recommend it. I don't recommend it. But also at the same time, I kind of feel like if you have the opportunity to have these 3 volumes, give it a read, because you'd be missing out on one of the most topsy-turvy roller coastery rides of a story. It is shocking, and I kind of enjoyed it, and I kind of didn't. I don't know what I would give these. I don't know, because you can't deny a good time. It is wild. It is wild. So yeah, I finished Kiss All the Boys, volumes 1, 2, and 3. So for this 1330, I read volume 5 of My Love Mix-Up, art by Aruko and story by Wataru Hinekure. I love this so much. It's a brilliant series. Everyone loves it. It's so, so good. Highly, highly recommend for a good time. I then started Challengers, but decided to give myself a wee break in between and read Just Around the Corner, which did not tell me in any way in the synopsis that this was a student-teacher story. So be warned, this is a teacher-student story. But it is by Toko Kawaii, so the art style is lovely. And the relationship dynamics and how the characters interact is always a sort of Toko Kawaii speciality. I love it. I really do appreciate her work. So yeah, I'm a fan of Toko Kawaii, so Just Around the Corner was a good read, and also something that I read specifically for the buzzword, so I'll put a link to that video as well. I also read, of course, the 4 volumes of Challengers. Oh my goodness. The most difficult, hardest slogged video series for the buddy reads. I think because we tried it twice, this is a September read, and we're only doing it in November because it has been such a slog. Full of very dated language and tropes and offensive slurs, left, right and centre. The art style is messy and incoherent, and yet from it spawned one of the most iconic yaoi BL couples that most popular, well sold mangas, and that is The Tyrant Falls in Love, and yet the story really starts in Challengers. I also think that it's interesting, and I do feel like I need to preface this. When it comes to the idea of Challengers, there was so much in this to talk about and discuss, and Tomoe's, for me, apparent asexuality and the mangaka's use of the adjective, like he's a challenge. And for me, afterwards, I was thinking about this, and I feel a little offended because it's kind of like saying that asexuals are a challenge, i.e. being an asexual and living their life in this world is a challenge. That's one way you could interpret that. because the mangaka states from Kurokawa's voice that Tomoe is a challenge. And I'm like, is it that I would like to think it's because she's saying how much of a challenge it is for Tomoe to live, but I don't think that's what she's saying. I think what she's saying, which is why I'm slightly offended, is that loving someone who is asexual, if you're not, makes them a challenge. And if you've ever heard that in any kind of context, romantic or sexual, it makes you have the ick factor, like ick. And in the same way, because Tomoe and Soichi are presented in this series, Soichi with his very valid trauma from attempted rape by a professor, he has homophobic, ideas, and he's very aggressive in them. But you can kind of understand why, because he was sexually assaulted. And everyone around him seems to then come out of the woodwork as being gay. And so you can understand there is a lot of trauma and fear there. I mean, the way that he reacts is in some ways very valid. And Tomoe is just trying to live his best life, and he's not a sexual being. And yet everyone around him is kind of obsessed. And to try and say that, trying to love or trying to have relationships with these individuals makes them a challenge, it's almost equating someone who has massive trauma around sexual assault is almost the same as challenge as someone who's asexual. And we should challenge them? Like, what the fuck? And also, it kind of has shades of misogyny in there, where it's like, if you see a girl and she's, very pretty and you fancy her, it's a challenge to make her like you. Or if you see a boy and it's like, I want to get into his pants, so it's a challenge. The idea that it's a challenge to not necessarily love, but have a sexual relationship with someone who's asexual, like, is kind of ick. I feel uncomfortable. So the more I thought about the fact that this is a story, I cannot read this without seeing Tomoe as asexual, and the fact that she specifically has titled this series Challengers, as in he's a challenge to love, he's a challenge to be in a relationship with. You know what? Tomoe was perfectly fucking fine without you, Kurokawa. You can fuck right off. So that's what I think of Challengers. It is what it is. It is what it is. I think one that I'm actually really pleased I read, let's just draw a line out of that. Nabari no O, Volume 1 by Yuki Kamatani, a Yen Press title. This was nice. It was good. I have watched the anime, so a lot of this I was like, I kind of remember it. It's just a story. I don't even know if I actually talked about it. Miharu has like all the ninja wisdom in him as like data text, and he's kind of apathetic. He has no desires. He's just uninterested in things. He's just kind of wandering through life. He doesn't know that he's part of the underworld of the shinobi, the ninja life, and he's kind of suddenly caught up in it all because he has the MacGuffin inside of him. There has to be a MacGuffin. He's got the MacGuffin inside of him, and all the people want the MacGuffin. In the same way that One Piece is all about, the One Piece, that's the MacGuffin. So it's that. And but yeah, it's interestingly done, and it sets it up so you want to read the next volume, and I do. Yoite. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I do recommend giving it a go, but I don't know if you'll be able to get the copies. I don't know if I'll be able to get the copies. I don't know if copies are available. So yeah, that was interesting. And then of course, my gets all the boys. I'm chucking them around. Volumes 1, 2, and 3. That's what I think of that. Oh my god, what a crazy, crazy wild ride. So yeah, this is what I read for this 1330, which means I have done all 30, and it is nice. I've been able to go through a lot of things I haven't read before, and that's the main thing for me. It was about trying to get as much of my physical TBR read, so I can open up my spreadsheet and put them in as being read now, and tick them off the list, which is always nice. There's always a feeling when you're a collector that you collect and you don't read, and then every year I do try to read the things I purchase that particular year, and I do much better with brand new titles like My Love Mix-Up compared to older titles like Kiss All the Boys. So I could have, like, I bought volume 1 a couple of years ago, maybe 2020, and so I only just got volume 3, but I've now been able to complete that series, and that's quite nice. So being able to read your collection is always useful. So thank you very much to the people who are hosting 30 and 30. I think it's Izzy from Isabel's Alright, and Bookish Realm, and Lockbooktician, and She Geeks Out, and I think Marg Reads Manga as well did some of the images and things. So thanks to everyone who hosted. I hope everyone else who took part had a good time and read their manga and gets their TBR down, which is good. I had a good time. So yeah, I'm 365801 and I make videos about BL manga, yaoi, male romance, and all that good stuff. If you like this video, give it a like, comment down below of what you think of some of these titles that I've read. Let me know if you've read them too. Yeah, subscribe if you like these kinds of videos. I try to upload twice a week. Not always, but I do manage it most of the time. And I also have a Patreon, which has only got a $1 tier. So if you're interested in that, for early access and a shout out at the end of the video, you can check that out as well. All information's in the description down below. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for sticking to the end of this. Probably going to be a very long video. Sorry about that. But yeah, take care guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!